Hey folks, Simon here with another Raw Short. This time I'm talking all about protein and why I've changed my mind a little bit about how much we need to be eating. So let's get into it. Now don't get me wrong, I'm still a big advocate of eating enough protein to make sure that we're recovering from our training and making sure we're holding on to our lean muscle mass, especially as we get older. But do we really need to be eating as much as 1.8 grams to 2 grams to even 2.2 grams of protein per kg of body weight on a day-to-day basis? The thing is, this is quite a nuanced situation or a subject to talk about. So let's go back to the start from what my understanding is right now is from a protein intake, I think we should be hitting between 1.2 and 1.6 grams of protein per kg of body weight spread evenly across the day. Now, I used to think that we needed to eat more, and the thing is we can eat more, especially if we have more calories to play with because we've done a lot of training over a day. But to make sure we're getting enough and what is adequate, I think 1.2 grams to 1.6 grams per kg of body weight is plenty enough to be able to make sure we're recovering from our training and also keeping on and holding on to our lean muscle mass. Let me explain my thinking on this, because if you eat protein on its own and don't do any training, you're not going to lay down lean muscle mass and you're definitely not going to get any fitter. So the real focus is what you do in training. So hitting the gym and doing cardiovascular training. So as cyclists, we need to be doing both, especially as we get older, because as I've talked about many times in the other videos that I've put together, is that training is important, especially as we get older, because we lose muscle mass. And it's very easy for us as we start to hit 40, 50 and 60 to drop out on our VO2 lactate threshold. And we need to be focusing on these kind of training sessions to hold on to it for as long as possible, especially if we want to ride our bikes harder and faster and put in some decent times in sportives. But this is where my mindset has changed. You don't need to be eating as much as 1.8 to 2 grams per kg of body weight if you are training hard. Yes, you can eat more. And especially if you're doing a lot of training, so you have a lot more calories to put back into your diet over a day, you can eat more protein. It's not going to harm you for sure. But if you're hitting 1.2 to 1.6 grams of protein per kg of body weight, then you're probably adequately eating enough protein with the focus of making sure you're eating it evenly. To get to the full video, click on the box on the right hand side.